Good morning, this is your AI host, Jay. I'm here with the automatically generated, Journato, morning headlines on September 21, 2023. Guinean cycles across 6 countries for spot at Egypt's Al-Azhar University. Yemen's southern leaders say, bad, peace deal cannot be imposed. The Guardian, Saudi Arabia praises positive results of peace talks with Yemen's Houthi rebels. France 24 English, Houthis leave Saudi Arabia after talks on potential Yemen ceasefire deal. Al Jazeera English, Saudis, Houthis hail talks as push continues to end Yemen's war. Al Monitor, Houthis leave Riyadh after talks with Saudis, some progress reported sources. Romeoville shooting, what we know about murders of family of 4 in Illinois. Revealed, 1 in 3 Europeans now votes anti-establishment. Kenya's Westgate shopping mall siege, how a survivor has healed. BBC, a survivor of the Westgate mall siege says speaking about it has helped her heal. Africa News, terrorist gave 6-year-old girl chocolate after White Widow massacre of 67 people. EU demands answers about Poland visa scandal. BBC, Brussels asks Poland for clarifications about cash for visa scandal. Euronews, Germany demands answers from Poland in visa for cash scandal. Bloomberg, Germany summons Polish ambassador over visa scandal. Anadolu Agency, English, Polish government engulfed by cash for visa scandal as election looms. Zelenskiy calls for Russia to lose UN veto power. Chief says, humanity has opened gates of hell, on climate, as it happened. The Guardian, NATO nation loses cool on Ukraine. Poland summons envoy over Zelenskiy remarks, Kyiv responds. Hindustan Times, Russia-Ukraine war updates, Zelensky says, ineffective. Al Jazeera English, Russia's war comes from will to restore old sphere of influence, Latvian president. Anadolu Agency, English, Red Circle Live, Poland says it will no longer arm Ukraine amid row over grain exports. Humanity has opened gates to hell by letting climate crisis worsen, UN Secretary warns. The Guardian, humanity has opened the gates to hell, what can the UN's Climate Action Summit do? Euronews, leaders of world's biggest polluting countries skipping UN Climate Summit. The Guardian, Chief wants rich countries to hasten climate efforts and close gates to hell. Politico Europe, Chief warns of gates of hell in Climate Summit, but carbon-polluting nations stay silent. Iran to impose tougher punishments on women who refuse to wear headscarf. Sky News, Iran hijab bill, women face 10 years in jail for inappropriate dress. BBC, women in Iran face 10 years in jail for not wearing hijab. The Independent, Iran approves stricter hijab bill targeting those who mock dress code. The Guardian, Iranian women face 10 years in prison for not wearing hijab. Child fentanyl death, police seek husband of NYC nursery owner. BBC, suspect in toddler's fentanyl death at daycare called her husband twice before 911. The Independent, arrests over death of toddler after fentanyl found under nursery nap mat. ITV News. ITV News, Extra Time, fentanyl bust in Queens, NASA tracks asteroid that could hit Earth. WABC TV, US child dies from fentanyl kept under nursery nap mat. Iran's president warns Saudi Arabia not to make peace with Israel. Sky News, Israeli ambassador to UN detained after mounting protest during speech by Iranian president. The Independent, Iranian president says Israel-Saudi ties would be stab in the back to Palestinians. The Times of Israel, protests at United Nations headquarters while Ebrahim Raisi addresses delegates. Guardian News, protesters gather ahead of Iranian President Ebrahim Raisi's speech to United Nations General Assembly. Armenia protests follow Nagorno-Karabakh ceasefire. BBC, Azerbaijan halts Karabakh offensive after ceasefire deal with Armenian separatists. BBC, situation in Nagorno-Karabakh, UK statement to the OSCE. Government UK, The Guardian view on Nagorno-Karabakh, a ceasefire is needed, but it's not a solution. The Guardian, The Irish Times view on Nagorno-Karabakh, a swift annexation, The Irish Times. Zelenskiy says only way to ensure peace is fundamental UN reform. The Guardian, Ukraine-Russia war, give Germany a place on the UN Security Council, says Zelensky. The Telegraph, Zelensky questions Russia's presence at the UN Security Council. The Times and the Sunday Times express view on UN and Ukraine, break the impasse. The Indian Express, opinion, in the absence of other world leaders, Biden grasps his G20 moment. Poland to stop supplying weapons to Ukraine over grain row. BBC, Poland will no longer send weapons to Ukraine, says PM, as grain dispute escalates. The Guardian, France regrets Poland's ban on Ukrainian grain. France 24 English, Poland will stop sending weapons to Ukraine amid grain row. The Telegraph, Poland-Ukraine grain war escalates dangerously, Euractiv.com. This was all for the news. Thanks for listening. Please do not forget to like and subscribe.